In this video, we are going to talk about Apigee and its basic concepts. Before we get into Apigee, I would like to discuss about the basic communication between the API and its clients. So for example, we are exposing an API and that is consumed by one of our clients. In this case, the client will send a request to our API via a particular endpoint, and once we receive the request, we will execute the API logic and the response will be given in this response flow. In this flow, we don't execute any process on the request and the response. We just execute our API logic and give the response back to the client. So think about one of the scenario like this. Over here, we are getting a request from client and we wanted to first authenticate that client. So we have a security module, and once that security is passed, then we have to add a header. So just assume that this header is required by our API logic. So this is one of the process that we do, and once that is done, and just one more assumption that client can only understand XML data, not the JSON, but our application can only understand the JSON data format. In this case, we might need to convert the XML request payload into JSON. So once that is done, then we are ready to execute our API logic. Once this is executed, and we will give the response back to the client. So this is a little bit complex logic where the request flow and response flow has to go through. So in this case, without Apigee, what we do is we implement the security, we implement the logic to add header, we have all the logics that we have to implement to accomplish all these things. We can move all these logics into Apigee platform and make our application to have only API logic in it. So this way it will be easy for us to maintain our application, and we don't have to worry about the additional things. Now let's jump on to Apigee concept. The first concept is Apigee API proxy. So the API proxy is the one that is sitting in front of our API. So the API proxy is the one that will execute whatever the logics that we need to execute on the request flow and whatever the logics that we need to execute on the response flow. So this is like a one-to-one mapping between our API and our Apigee API proxy. In the next slide, we will take a detailed look into Apigee API proxy. So here, this is our API, this is our client, and the request is going via the Apigee API proxy. Over here, if you remember the previous example, so we wanted to do the security, we wanted to add header, we wanted to convert the XML data to JSON. So all these things can be accomplished by using Apigee policies. So Apigee policies are small logics that can be applied on request flow, and also we can apply the Apigee policies on response flow also. When you apply Apigee policies on request or response flow, the Apigee policies will get the context of the request. Like it will get the request payload, it will get to know the headers that is passed as part of this request, so it can do the logics on top of that request. So this is the introduction of Apigee policies. So the API proxy will contain whatever the policies that we need to execute on the request flow and whatever the policies that we need to execute on the response flow. Now let's jump on to the API product. So the API product is bundle of one or more API proxies. So just assume that we have created 4 different API proxies in Apigee. So the one that is for creating a student, and the second one is reading, third one update, then the last one is delete. Okay, just assume that we have 2 different clients. So the one is parent mobile application and the another client is school administrator application. Over here, the parent mobile application should be able to just read the student information, and they should not create, update, delete any of the student information. And just assume that we have another application, that is the client, that needs to talk to our student API, and they should be able to do all the activities like create, read, update, delete. So in this case, we can create two kind of products. So one is just exposing the read-only API proxy, and another product that contains all the API proxies. Here the question is, can I expose Apigee products directly to my clients? The answer is no. So in order to expose that, we need one more component in between the Apigee product and the clients, that is called Apigee apps, API apps. So that's going to be here. So in the next slide we will see how that helps us. So over here we have the same example. So here our API, this is the actual implementation of our API, and this is the Apigee API proxies that is directly talking to our implementation. And over here, as we discussed in the previous slide, we have grouped the read API proxy into one product, and all the API proxies into admin product. Now we should be able to expose this product into parent mobile application. In order to do that, first we need to create a Apigee app. So that is something that client has to create and register, and they have to put a request to this product, and the Apigee admin should be able to approve that, and then the parent app now should be able to hit this product, and this product can only hit the read student info. The same way, we have to create a different app that has to request approval for this admin product. So the Apigee administrator should be able to approve this, and once this is approved, then the admin app should be able to hit admin product, and this admin product will expose all these four APIs. So here, when you register for the apps, the client will get API key. So that API key should be sent on each request, so that this will be allowed to hit the actual API. So over here, if you see the Apigee API proxy, that is hitting actual API, and the API proxies are grouped into products, and the products can be only accessed by registering the applications. Then once you register it, you will get a key that is called the API key. Using that API key only, you can hit the actual API. So this way you will get a security, and you will be able to hit the actual API via Apigee. So in this case, we have Apigee apps, products, API proxies. Within the API proxies, we will have multiple API policies. So that's it guys. This is about Apigee basic concepts. Thank you.